Mammals and music. Music, what is it? Vibration? Sound? Pulsations of pitch? Must it be organized to be considered music? Is it a human invention? Not really. Birds have been organizing sound long before humans as their form of communication, organizing it into patterns they repeat, and maybe we came to it by imitating them. We evolved into thinking about music in an analytical fashion, mathematically, defining tone into pitches of higher and lower frequency, naming notes A, B, C, and Do, Re, Mi, even figuring out somehow that A, above this pitch we call middle C, vibrates at a frequency of 440 times per second, and call it 440 hertz. Really? I want to know who plucked that string and counted those 440 vibrations in 1 second. That's what I want to know. And who figured out that you find the next higher A by doubling it to 880 vibrations, and that you find the next lower A by dividing 440 in half to 220 until you get down to the smallest number of vibrations the human ear is said to hear, which is a pitch of about 20 hertz that we call E0. Double that to about 40 hertz, and that is what I tune my bass drum to in my drum set. About 41.2 hertz if you want to be picky about it. The same pitch that I tune the lowest string of my bass guitar to, which we call E1. When it comes to mammals and music, I have two experiences in my life that I can recall that I have no real explanation for. One involves a red fox, and the other a boxer dog. The incident with the red fox took place when my brother George and I were living in a shed along the shores of Lake Michigan when I was not yet 19 years old. It's a longer story to explain why we were living in that shed, but for the sake of brevity, let me just say that shed was too small for 2 cots, so we switched off week by week who slept on the cot and who slept on the floor remaining, and weather permitting, we ate outside around a campfire. We had the luxury of running an extension cord from the back porch light of the cabin into the shed to power a space heater, as the bay was still frozen and snow was still on the dunes and in the woods. We also used this electricity to power a record player for music, and when we cooked outside and ate around the campfire, we put the speakers on the roof of the shed to listen to music as we cooked and ate. And you're thinking to yourself, shut up already, where's the red fox in all of this? Okay, fair enough. Here's where the red fox comes in. We would play the few records we had, and one of the albums was by a rock guitarist, singer-songwriter named Michael Finelli, called Lane Changer, who sang in a high falsetto voice, and whenever we played that record, a red fox would appear and circle around us at a distance of about 150 feet or so. When the record was over, it would walk away into the woods. Put the record back on, and it would reappear. Take the record off, it would walk away. Put on a David Bowie record or whatever other records we had, the red fox would stay away. And so it went, day after day. No explanation as to why. A while later, when I was not yet 20, I found myself living in an apartment with former college classmates and working at a Mexican restaurant with my roommate Mark. Our other roommate, Rod, had the front bedroom of the apartment on the second floor of this house over on 7th Street, and Rod would play the accordion sometimes at inconvenient moments. Sometimes polkas, sometimes Hank Williams, and sometimes he would play an arrangement of Peaches in Regalia by Frank Zappa. One afternoon, Rod came out of the front room with the accordion strapped to his chest, which was comical in itself as it was a smaller model he had taken lessons on as a child. He says, "Hey, Jack, you got a minute? You should see this." We went into the front bedroom, where he had a window open, looking over the front lawn, and sits on the windowsill with one leg out the window and begins to play the Zappa piece, Peaches and Regalia. A few bars into the piece, a boxer dog runs around the corner up to the house and sits down on the front lawn looking up at Rod, playing accordion. Rod says, "It will stay there as long as I keep playing Zappa. If I stop or play something else, it will get up and walk away. Watch this." Sure enough, if he stopped or started playing a polka or Hank Williams, the boxer dog would get up and start walking away. But when he started playing Zappa again, the boxer would run back, sit down, look up, and watch Rod playing again. Mammals and music. Who knows? I can't explain those two incidences, the red fox or the boxer dog, except to say there's some sort of magic when it comes to mammals and music.